Hey there, this is John's Mate Reviews, and I'm John, and I got a fun review for you guys today. So, today I am going to be reviewing Canarias Compuesta con Hierbas. So, this is among my favorite mates. To me, when I think of an Uruguayan mate, this is the mate that comes to mind. So, I'm going to pour some out on my hand here, right? And the first thing you're going to notice, right, is just how powdery this mate is, right? Now, it's an Uruguayan mate, so obviously it's going to be powdery, but you just get a lot of those flakes, man. It's like, it's very dusty. It's very dusty, and it's just a great leaf quality. I've never found any. I've been drinking this specific brand for years. I have never found anything nasty in it. It's just a very good leaf quality, but it's very fine and very powdery. And one of the ramifications of that is if you're drinking it traditional style, the leaves tend to clump together in... I just made a mess. The leaves tend to clump together in the gourd a little bit more. And if you're somebody that likes to stab your bombisha through the leaf clump and try to drink through it, it gets very difficult to do that. So now, there's plenty of ways around that, don't get me wrong, but for that reason, when I drink Uruguayan mates, I tend to prefer to drink through the French press. So that is how I'm going to be drinking my mate today. I have my French press here, and let's get into the flavor a little bit. So this being an unsmoked mate, you're going to get a lot less of that malty flavor and a lot more of that earthy green flavor, but I would almost describe it as like tea, like a green tea flavor. Just wonderful. Just wonderful. So with this mate, a lot of mates have more of an acquired taste, and this is something I've talked about in the past, right? Like, especially like those malty Argentine mates, there's kind of like this almost hay-like flavor to it. Now, typically I wouldn't describe it like that, but I've had people that I've introduced to mate, and they're like, this tastes like hay, and it's because it was an Argentine mate. But it's like, in the same way, if you showed somebody coffee and they've never drank coffee before, they'd think it tastes weird because it's an acquired taste. It's like beer. After you have that beverage a few times, you begin to associate the buzz that the coffee or the beer or the mate gives you with that flavor, and you acquire that taste. Now, this does not have that trait at all. This is a very approachable flavor, in my opinion. It's just very drinkable. In fact, I have prepared this mate through the French press for my whole family before. I have sisters and parents, and everybody I've showed it to, they liked it on their first try. I can't say that about Argentine mates. So again, wonderful flavor, and it just keeps bringing me back to it, right? And I really like the unsmoked. I like unsmoked mates personally because you get more of that green earthy flavor, and if you're into that, this is absolutely a wonderful mate for you. So let's discuss cycles. So again, right here I have this in a French press. However, you absolutely can drink this out of a traditional gourd. That's how I typically drink my mate. It's just I wanted to spice things up for the reviews today a little bit. But this mate, and I think it's because it's so powdery, you can see that in the leaf quality, you're going to really blast through the flavor and the caffeine content on this within your first 7 cycles. And this is one thing you're going to realize, more so than any other mate that comes to mind for me, the flavor tends to run out of this pretty quickly. Now, again, that's not a big deal for everybody because this thing is going to dump the caffeine into you pretty quickly. And again, if you're somebody that only has like an hour or two to drink your mate, right, that's not a big deal. But if you're somebody that likes to drink mate throughout the day, kind of sip on it, you can do that with this, but you're going to be pouring multiple cups. And that brings me into my next point, the caffeine content. So I wouldn't describe the caffeine content of this mate for being too crazy. I would describe it as a little less powerful than Cruz de Malta. I don't know if you've ever tried that mate, but so it's strong. It's definitely got more of a wallop than coffee, but it's not going to, you're not going to have like 5 cycles of it, and time's not going to slow down, right? Like Rosamante Especial, or any of those other really powerful mates. So it's a very good all-around mate. It's just not something that you'd want to drink all day. So in terms of price, I'm going to put the price up on the screen right here. Hey there, this is John in Post. So I have to apologize. I was reviewing an older bag of mate that I bought about a year ago for like 12, 13 bucks. I did not expect the price to shift this dramatically within a year, but it seems that these mates, these bags are going for about 16 to 18 bucks minimum on Amazon these days, which is unfortunate because there was a time where you could get these for 10 bucks a kilo. That does not seem to be the case anymore. So if you are somebody that cares about price in a mate, unfortunately, that's just something to keep in mind. I would recommend this to anybody that is looking to try an Uruguayan mate, or maybe you're into Uruguayan mate and you want to spice things up a little bit, and you've never tried this somehow, but it's just a very difficult mate to argue with all around, and it's very popular too. A lot of people I talk to about mate, I was in San Francisco the other day, right, and being in the United States, we don't see too many mate drinkers around. And I saw a guy on a beach. He was drinking mate. I'm like, oh, what are you drinking? He's like, yerba mate. Do you know what that is? And I'm like, well, of course, right? And I was like, what brand? And this is exactly what he was drinking. And I thought that was kind of cool. So it's a very popular mate. I absolutely, I would recommend this to anybody. So thank you guys for watching. And I do have to say I have a lot of mates coming in the mail, right? So we got a lot of reviews ahead of us. But let me know in the comments what you guys want to see me review. Is there anything that jumps out to you as like, I want him to review this. I want him to try this. Because, again, I didn't grow up with this stuff. I've been drinking this stuff for a long time. But there might be some obscure brands that you guys could recommend to me that I would love to hear about. So take care of yourselves. I hope you guys have a good day. And this was a fun review.